What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. You know what it is. We're in the streets. Staying in the streets. First, I'd like to apologize yesterday. We didn't get the Big Star show going on yesterday. I don't know what the hell happened with my DM. It's still acting up. My DMs were acting up. I couldn't send the link to her. I didn't get any error messages to the day, so I don't know what was happening with Twitter, but it was acting up and we couldn't link up because I couldn't send her the link to the show and she couldn't get it. We couldn't receive messages. So I totally apologize about that. We'll definitely gonna make it back next weekend, or at least next week, or whenever we get back popping. So like I said, I definitely do apologize about that, and we'll definitely get it back going. I don't know what the hell was happening with Twitter and what was going on with that in the whole big scheme of things, but I want to drop another quick video, and basically what this video is going to be talking about with this defense. Everybody's talking about running back. Everybody's talking about George Pickens. He's the talk of the town right now. Dallas finally got a weapon. You feel me? Now they want a running back. You know what this offensive line going to do? But for me, I'm always about defense. You know what I'm saying? I done already talked about the defensive end position. I think that's one of the most important positions as far as the competition-wise. It's going to be a lot of competition at the edge, and that's one of the positions I'll be watching. We've been screaming about one tech, but I've been screaming about one tech for 10 years now. So that ain't something new that I've been screaming about, because it ain't been addressed and hasn't been talked about. But I'm talking about the defense as a whole and Matt Eberflus today. What's the reasonable expectation that you have for Matt Eberflus's defense this year? That's my question, because this is the third defensive coordinators in 3 years. You ended with Dan Quinn on a terrible, sour note, but we saw Quinn really turn up this defense. It was great on splash plays, sacks, turnovers, pressures. It was an exciting time with that. Let's not say it wasn't, but it lacked physicality, and that's the thing that still would happen with the Dallas defense, even though it had all them sacks, and even though it had all those pressures, even though it had all those interceptions. When it really got down to the meat of things, when it really had to bog down and make big stops or big plays in certain facets of the game, it wouldn't happen. So, exited Dan Quinn. Then you got Grandpa Mike Zimmer. His name is Grandpa Zimmer. And I just feel like Zimmer was in a no-win situation for real, because in my opinion, they had moved on from Mike. They were done with him, and this was going to just be a lame duck season. And for real, I feel like they just want to have somebody who could just do this year, and then let's just move on and get somebody else. And what better person was your boy Zimmer, because he had been with the organization. He knew the organization. It was an easy transition to go through. And you could be the bridge until they found the guy that they wanted, because he was on his way out anyway. Zimmer, I told you, Grandpa Zimmer, he about 80 years old. He ain't 80, but he felt like he was 80. And I just felt like, man, this dude's too old. But you saw Zimmer in the very, very beginning of the season. It looked bad, but he had a lot of injuries on that defense. First time Michael Parsons was actually injured for about 4 games. So that defense was not good in the beginning. But you saw when Michael Parsons came back, that defense slowly climbed back up to one of the better defenses toward the end of the year. Pressure, sacks, everything. You saw Zimmer's mastermind, even though he had been in the league forever. You saw why he was one of the best defensive coordinators in the league for a very long time. And you started to see it toward the end of the season. Now you got Eberflus in the fold, who was with the Cowboys. He was the linebackers coach for about, 6-7 years. Left in 2018. Linebacker is his calling card. He came in like in his first coaching gig. He was a linebackers coach. So he's called the linebacker whisperer. I've always liked Eberflus. I was frustrated when he left Dallas in 2018. I felt I wanted him over Grandpa. He's got a lot of grandpas. Oh my God, these names are just escaping my head. Grandpa Marinelli. I wanted him to take the reins over Marinelli because I just felt like Marinelli was just outdated a little bit. But he said he didn't want to step on toes. I was frustrated. He left, and then he went to Indianapolis. Dallas played Indianapolis in 2018. And they whooped Dallas's ass that day and shut Dallas down, knew what they were doing, ran all over them, were physical. That was the big word of the day. They were physical. And Eberflus over there in Indianapolis, he had a top 10 defense, I think 2 of the 4 years. Had a pretty decent, run defense, considering Indianapolis has never been majoring in run defense. And then I'm not even going to talk about the debacle over there at the Bears, with Eberflus going over there, because I just feel like, in my opinion, some guys are just better coordinators than coaches, and I feel like that's what Eberflus. I didn't never feel like he was going to be a good coach over there with Chicago. I felt like that just wasn't going to happen. But I feel like he can stay really good in this NFL being a kick-ass coordinator. So I think that's where his calling card is, and not a head coach. His calling card is being a coordinator, and there's nothing wrong with that. And defense, probably his calling card, because that's what he came in as, defense. Linebackers coach, he's been a defensive guy. So focus on that and be great there. But there's a lot of question marks on this Dallas defense. As I said before, it was one of the top defenses under Dan Quinn. Fell off under Zimmer. Injuries, lame duck, and now it's in the influx where we're going to have 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years. But I think this is a good thing for Eberflus, and for his favor is he's homegrown, already been with the team, been there like 6 or 7 years, so they pretty much gave him the job. So his leash is going to be long because he's homegrown. So he's going to get every opportunity to really make this defense be good. Especially when he didn't get to leave his mark the first time in 2018. This is his kind of like secondary tour. But as I said before, I feel like his leash is going to be a bit longer, and, we're going to see what happens. What's the reasonable expectation this year? I mean, Dallas has some talents, but there's a lot more questions on this defense than ever. I mean, obviously you have some talent there with Michael Parsons. You brought back Osa. You got Bland is there, but it's not like it's super talented like it was a few years past. There's a lot of questions. You don't have your mainstays that you had before in DeMarcus Lawrence. Chauncey Golston is gone. When you look at the front line, Bazzi is your defensive tackle. You still need help at the one tech position. You got a lot of guys on edge, but there's still question marks. Who's going to be your starter? Where's Micah going to be playing? Is he going to be playing more of the linebacker position that he was playing his rookie year, or is he going to be on the edge? Questions at the linebacker position as a whole. Who's going to be your green dot guy? Who's your main guy? You got second-year guy Leah Fowl. Damone Clark is there. But, you traded for Kenneth Murray, who I did a video yesterday, Jack Sanborn, but there's a lot of question marks. Question marks in the secondary. Who's going to be your starters? Bland is out there, but you got a lot of injuries. Your guy, Revel, who you drafted, he's on the injury mend. Butler, injury men. Diggs, injury men. Still talking about possibly adding depth. You don't know what you have in Kyrie Elam. Kalen Carson, just a lot of question marks. And then you look in the secondary as far as the safety position. That took a step back last year with Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. You re-sign Marquise Bell and Wanye Thomas. Do they take a significant leap? Because remember, they played a lot under Dan Quinn and showed a lot of promise. When Zimmer came in, they were non-existent. So where is their role now, especially after them getting signed? What happens with Wilson? What happens with Hooker? So it's a lot of questions on this defense. As much as everybody's talking about this offense, I'm still have my concerns about this defense and what this defense is really going to do this first year under Eberflus, because there's a lot more question marks than answers with this defense. And honestly, I don't need this Cowboys team to be a shootout team where they're averaging 30 points a game and 35, and Dak's throwing the ball everywhere, because we can't stop nobody on defense. So that's my kind of concern right now. Everybody's all excited about George Pickens, all that, but the more I think about it, this defense got a lot of holes in it right now, a lot of holes and a lot of questions. And, they need to figure out We need to see what's going to happen in camp. They still need to get some more additions, in my opinion. Like I said, the tech, the cornerback position, safety, what's going to happen, linebacker, a lot of questions on defense. So that's what I'm really going to be looking at in training camp, focusing on not just training camp, preseason, because that's not a settled thing right now. And if the Dallas Cowboys don't have a defense that can really stop some people, it's going to really be tough, because they have a brutal schedule this year, especially toward the end in December. And that defense has to be playing really good football toward the end of the year, especially with their schedule coming up with the Eagles, the Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders. You're going to have a gauntlet of them teams, so that defense is really going to have to play some really good football, because you're going to come against some really tough offenses, especially in those 3 games with Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions right there. Chargers, they got Herbert, Washington. So you got offenses that can attack you. So defense is a huge question mark for me, and how that defense really responds this year under Eberflus is going to be key for the 25 season under Schottenheimer in his first year. So we'll see. Eberflus gets his second chance to go around, and we'll see what kind of product he puts on there. But I have a lot more questions than answers for this Cowboys defense. What's your thoughts? How do you feel about the defense? We'll see. Some talent on there, but we'll see what happens coming season. Give me your thoughts. Big Game James. I'm out. Peace.